Hello and welcome to Let's Invest Right. I am Farooq and with me is Hassan. Hassan, how are you?
I'm good, Farooq. How are you?
I'm great. Hassan, so what have you been doing? Investing since few
Yes, the
weeks?
market, correct. The market has crashed, and now it's a good opportunity for us to
The
invest.
market has crashed and
Finding,
you look really happy,
yes, it's a good time,
right?
right, to invest more.
That's true actually. People get panicked, but actually this is the time when to invest. Asan, what are the few reasons? Like we have seen a great drop in last few days. However, yesterday was a better day, which we could call it a retracement of the last week's sudden drop. But were you expecting this?
Yes, if you remember, I've been saying for the last couple of months that the second wave would come, and whenever the second wave will come, the market will crash, and it will crash at a rapid pace because the market has not got back with the old indexes or the so the market has not gone back to the old pre-pandemic era, right? So the market is already down, and when the second wave will come, it will further crash the market. So everyone, like I was expecting this, and that's why I was holding some of the cash to invest more when the market goes down. And so the market is going down, and I have now started I'm just evaluating another couple of days, maybe next week, and then would be investing some more cash and buying more assets.
That's true. Today would be the last working day before the market closes, and the next week we are still 5 days to go for U.S. election, which again is going to be the biggest event for the stock market. And unfortunately, we have seen surge in the coronavirus cases, which is very unfortunate. We pray to Allah that these cases really drops and people get well soon, and we don't see more cases growing in any part of the world. It's really unfortunate to see cases again going up, especially now the winter times. Despite of and also we can see the earning seasons is around for all the companies. They're reporting their profits. Essen, have you seen that we are seeing a couple of companies actually performing better than expected profit, which were estimated by the analysts.
Yeah, that's right, Farooq. So Amazon just announced their profitability, and this quarter the profits is up by 197%. So all this impacts the share price. Similarly, Harley Davidson, the share went up around 25% this week. Like I think on Wednesday it jumped around 25% because their profitability was much higher than what analysts were expecting.
But
So
but when we
these
see companies
similarly.
like sorry, Essen, when we see companies like Amazon, I mean, everyone was expecting them to perform because during this pandemic, the e-commerce trend, especially the purchasing from e-marketplaces, it was I won't say only the trend, it was the need of the time that we were expecting that Amazon would definitely perform, Zoom would definitely perform, or companies which, especially in this era, during pandemic, they will perform. But I have seen companies like recently, you have seen the Spirit Airline, they have performed better than expectation, and a couple of others. If you can let us know what were the highlights or
See, Farooq, for your question, like you're saying that Amazon would be and the sales would be expected to grow, obviously with the pandemic and people. The norm has changed now. Now the world is starting to change. More people are shifting towards e-commerce. More people are looking for more convenience and buying at home rather than going out for shopping, right? So Amazon and this in the next few years would further continue to grow, not at this pace, but it will grow. If you look at the profitability, what Amazon has announced, so their sales increased by 37%, but their profitability increased by 197%. So this shows the top line increase. They were also able to manage their cost and the profitability. So the increase in sales, when they were able to like generate much more profitability, much more EPS for the shareholders, this actually resulted in improving the share price and That's why the share price of Amazon is increased. That's why I've quoted especially Amazon here. But if you look at the other side, there are companies that are struggling. If you look at the oil and gas industry, right, some of the companies are announcing job losses. If you see, Exxon Mobil have announced around 1900 cuts in jobs in so the time is like difficult for companies like in oil and gas, the traditional retailers. They are having tough time, but on the
Because
other hand,
recently this week when oil inventories were announced, they were quite a bit higher than expected values, and that actually pushed oil to a lower level overall. And but as far as the furloughs are concerned, or the companies announcing the job cuts or anything which is associated with the cost cutting, ultimately somehow that helps the stock to grow because they are cutting down their costs. But yes, it's true, whatever you're saying, I totally agree with you. And we have seen Shell tremendously. It dropped around 7 to 10% just 2 days back, and yesterday the retracement was seen because again they have announced dividend. They have increased the rate of dividend, which last quarter they have decreased after World War. First time they decreased, and that pushed the prices down. And now again, this news was, at least this news in oil and gas industry was good for investors, where they have again increased the rate of their dividend, and the dividend yield has again got better. So
well,
again, do you
yeah,
recommend? I mean, from my side, I would definitely recommend people in investing Shell, especially in oil and gas, because sooner or later, as soon as we get demand back for oil after pandemic, then definitely Shell is a very strong company to invest from oil and gas
there's no
sector.
doubt. Yeah, there's no doubt that Shell is a strong company. But if you when you look at the company, you look at the competitors when you're trying to invest. If you look at ExxonMobil and Shell, they both go hand in hand. Like they both
Yeah,
are
yeah.
like kind of parallel, go in parallel. So if you look at the dividends, many investors look for dividends and look at the dividend yields and how much the company is paying through its to its dividends, despite of the profitability that they are earning. If you look at the last video that I prepared, I compared ExxonMobil with Shell slightly, like give a small comparison on that. So ExxonMobil have not cut their dividends, but Shell cut their dividends, and many shareholders didn't
That
like it
was in
because
the
they were
last
thinking,
quarter. That you're talking about the
yeah,
last quarter when,
correct,
yeah.
correct, correct. I'm coming to your point. Yeah. So this put pressure on Shell as well to increase their dividends because many shareholders have invested in oil and gas, like they have invested old days when the prices were high, right? And they are still keeping their shares. They are not selling it because they believe that the oil will go up because it's a need, and with the passage of time, with the economy recovers, the oil will increase, the demand will obviously increase. It's used in many industries. It's an important product that everyone needs, like in factories it's needed. It's even
Yeah,
some countries
as
are
soon as
making
we get the
electricity with
demand
this.
back, and definitely we'll
Correct.
see oil going back again, and these
Yeah.
companies would
See,
definitely.
people are not traveling much, so the fuel consumption has gone down. That's one of the reasons that oil demand has gone down. But I will coming to that point. So ExxonMobil has not cut its dividends, so it was expected. Like I had a feeling that Shell would increase their dividends despite of the reduction in profitability. Otherwise, many shareholders would look at other options of other than Shell. So they were like probably ExxonMobil because of the higher dividend deals. Because in terms of profitability, and if you look at the overall P&L and the size of the companies, they are more or less the same. So based on dividends, ExxonMobil was a better bet for them.
But I think since recently Shell has announced that they would be increasing the dividend rate, and they have also announced the ex-dividend date. I think people who look for dividend stocks, they will be coming back to this stock because
Correct.
I think the price is really attractive. Even 23 to 25, between 23 to $25 per
Correct.
share is not a bad
Correct.
price at all for the company like Shell, which is somehow backed by the government and they support
For
Shell
sure.
and
For
both
sure.
even ExxonMobil. Yeah. Yeah,
Even I have purchased Shell at 32 and 30, so it's a
yeah,
good price for me. So I am having a loss right
exactly.
now with if you compare the price. But yeah, for sure, I have both of these companies, ExxonMobil and Shell, in my portfolio. So I am
Great.
relying on oil and industry to go back to
Yes,
the
and
next level. Not this year.
for our viewers we have discussed, like we'll be giving them few stocks in this video. We have discussed about Amazon. It would be good for them to invest. From oil and gas industries, we would recommend Shell or ExxonMobil. Either of them, both are in the best prices. And I would also like to discuss something about the airline industry. Uh, we have seen some support in terms of prices yesterday. Overall market was retracing back, which was a good sign, because right after today's market session, as soon as it starts, we will see how the month would end, and the next month is going to be starting after the elections, or a lot of turbulence we could expect. We cannot judge the market based on what will happen today or the next week, because thereon it will decide the trend. Of course, the surge in the coronavirus cases would also determine the upcoming trends. But what do you suggest from the aerospace industry?
But right now, the industry is down, and with elections and with the corona cases increasing, this would further may go down a bit as well. Even the industries that are linked to like manufacturing of aircrafts, like Boeing and Airbus, they may go down as well with in the next couple of weeks as well.
But
So
as in people who are
coming.
investing in European market, don't you think even Airbus is in a very attractive price right now?
No doubt, no doubt. So the book value per share has gone down versus what it was in, and right now the shares are around floating at around $62 to $64. So it's a good price. It's a good price. But with the cases increasing, it may further go down a bit. So we have to wait
However,
and
for the
see in the next week.
manufacturers, we have seen for the manufacturers between Airbus and Boeing, there is some kind of geopolitical issues as well for the
That's
tariffs.
right.
For yeah, but
That will
either.
always remain. So with companies as big as Boeing and Airbus, the government will continue to support them despite of see no one even if the airlines some airlines may even go out of the industry, right, because of because of funds, but if aircraft manufacturers will not go out, they'll be supported heavily by these
That's true.
governments.
And also government support them in terms of giving them the defense contracts, like Boeing. They're getting a lot of good defense contracts in US and from all around the world. So I would also say that, so when we compare the air manufacturers versus the airliners, because airline companies, they are not ordering, of course, as they used to order the
Correct, correct.
same period last year. But we would see their earnings, manufacturers' earnings, not as bad as expected, because they would be getting some contracts now.
Yes, for sure. But there would be ups and downs. See, if the airlines is not operating, right, so the revenue and the top line would go down. But even analysts, when they are predicting a quarter earnings of airlines or any company, they know the trend as well. They know how much the company would be generating, and their earnings or the analyst earnings would be like modified accordingly. So if based on all this, their earnings are further better, then the share price will go up, will have a positive impact. Similarly, if analysts have predicted a higher profitability and the companies reported lower profits than that, then the share price would go down.
Yeah. And from the airline companies, if you would try to discuss with us, or like whether
See, there are many companies
Spirit
right now selling at a
Airlines,
very discounted price. Yeah.
like
So even if you
which
talk
one would
about
you recommend? Which one of them are in your portfolio?
it's I have a few, I have put a bet on some of these airlines as well. If you
Hmm.
look at the airlines in terms of strong and profitability and the as a big company, UL is a United Airlines is a good company that you can invest. Similarly, in Europe, EasyJet is a good airline which is selling at a lower price than what it used to be. but it will take time. Airline, if you're investing for next 2 years, maybe, then it's a good investment.
Yeah, it
Otherwise,
would be at least for a medium to long term horizon. Like
correct, correct. If
you
you're
cannot
investing in
make
the
money by day trading those stocks.
correct, correct. Because they will go up very slightly, and even they may go down. So these two stocks, I believe, would have a good future in like will the price. Because if you see, EasyJet is one of the leading airlines in Europe with the highest number of travelers. So it will go up, obviously. Main airline in Europe. So, and if you see in United States, UL is a good airline with number of passengers, one of the leading airlines in there in this region. So that's what
That's
I'm saying.
amazing. That's amazing. So we have discussed, guys, some of the industries and the top stocks from those industries. Especially that would be great to invest today, right time, because right before the elections, we have prices not too high right now, where people are really not sure about what is going to happen right after the elections or during this the surge in the cases of corona. So we would recommend that, if you are an investor, you need to take risk. If you're an investor, this is the right time. You can't be a good investor if you're only buying when everything is just going up. So you need to analyze. You need to take proper steps right at this time when you have, and you should have cash for that. Because if all of your cash is being invested, and I mean you can't do further investing during this time. Uh,
Correct.
before closing, as in, of course, in anyone's portfolio there are always some stocks which are performing really good, which have already are up to their target levels. Maybe 60 to 70% they have achieved the profit target. Is that not if you don't have money that much to reinvest? So what I feel, it would be a right time to close some of the stocks, some of the positions at least, and with those profits realized, you can actually take good advantage of these companies which are available at discounted price right now.
Correct. Well, even there are stocks that are growing, and the companies like I've been saying about new. In comparison to Tesla, Tesla has already like reached its peak. So you'll not get the obviously in the next 5 years Tesla will grow. There's no doubt with the number of cars increasing and all. But NIO is a stock right now that you should be owning with the and I've been saying you would remember when the price was around $8 or $10, right? Not much
Mm.
time back. So if you look at the companies and what they're producing right now,
It's
the
even
share is
now three
around at
times more
22.
than when we were
Yeah, yeah,
discussing
yeah, yeah,
it
yeah,
a
yeah.
couple of weeks ago, and
So
it
yeah,
has really gained tremendous support from the analysts all around the world, and predicting it
correct.
now around $35 plus
Yeah,
its price. But yes, we will see a lot of stocks really performing well, and some of them really facing the tough time. So thank you very much, Asen, for joining us again, and
thank you, Farooq,
best of luck
for
for your
inviting me.
investments. Best of luck for all the stocks you have in your portfolio, and we pray to God that these Corona time, the COVID time, really passes away, and people really stay safe and healthy. And that's it. That's it from my side. Thank you very much, Asan. Thank you for joining
Thank
us.
you.
Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.